Welcome to episode 15 of Communication Error, a gaming debate podcast where we may not always agree, but if we listen to what one another has to say, maybe we'll be able to fix our communication error. I'm one of your hosts, Cheesy, and the man that was almost blown away from severe weather tonight. Not even sure if we were going to be able to record, John Ebo.
What's going on? Yeah, so where I live in Pennsylvania. We do not get tornadoes.
I was going to ask you, like, how often does that happen?
It's not very often. So my whole life I've been terrified of tornadoes. So whenever like we get the tornado watch or tornado warning, I'm like, please don't happen. Please don't happen. I mean, I don't think anybody ever wants tornadoes to happen.
Right, yeah.
But I used to have like nightmares as a kid about being blown away by tornadoes and like running away from tornadoes.
So, like, Wizard of Oz was not your favorite movie?
No, it was I feel like that movie's a warning.
It is, yeah, that a house can just fall right on top of you and then go down Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah, well, luckily we didn't. I don't think we got any tornadoes. Not near me. It wasn't. I don't think it was as bad as they were expecting. It did rain, but I don't think we even got like severe thunderstorms or anything.
That's good. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of rain. I guess every once in a while we'll get like a tornado warning, but our big thing is like fires because we're just a very dry state. So get a ton of fires.
Yeah, we don't get either.
You don't get either?
No, we don't get fires. We usually we get like. I mean, we don't even get as much snow as you guys do.
Yeah. I mean, we did have a snowy winter last year, but it's actually been pretty light. Or
I wonder why. There might be an explanation.
Probably some reasons there.
That rhymes with Limit Mange.
Slimeit? I'll figure it out. But while we are figuring out that puzzle, Johnny, you want to do some server maintenance?
Yeah, we got some server maintenance. This is episode 15.
Yeah.
And we're at 14 reviews on Apple Podcast.
So that means that another person needs to write a review to keep up that streak.
Yeah, one review per episode.
Yeah.
But we got a new review from Nintendo Lover 246180. I wonder what the significance of that number is.
Their social security.
But it's titled Idea Light Bulb Over the Head. So ding, if I wasn't lazy and would edit, I could do that. It says, great podcast. I love it, and I'm excited to watch it grow. Here's an idea. Which video game that you've played is the best and which is the worst? Are they quite similar or different? Maybe a few different genres of games. I'm rooting for you guys. So thank you for that review. And we will keep that in mind. I don't want to spoil it with what I think is the worst game I've ever played is.
Do you already have an answer?
It rhymes with my word, Lord.
Climate change. That's what it was. I just got it. That's okay. Well, I mean, we'll hold on to it, but that's the
put a pin in that. We'll put a pin in that.
Wow, what a hater!
It's a terrible game. But yeah, make sure you leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Also, leave a review on Spotify. I think we're at 19. Can we get to 20 5-star reviews by next week? That would be awesome.
I think we can.
Yeah,
I think we can.
Join the Discord. The link is in the show notes. And I feel like it's been 4 or 5 episodes. We keep forgetting. But
what's that?
Sign up for your free trial of Gamefly today.
Yeah. Gamefly, if you're listening, we want people to sub, and they were talking about some movie that's coming out. So I guess they also have movies too, and it's just it's rental everything, games, movies, and yeah, sign up for your for your 30-day trial. What is
What?
happening, Lee?
For your what? For your
Your
30-day trial?
yeah.
No, it's a free 30-day trial. You can't be giving the listeners incorrect information.
Well, then I don't know. I mean, should they be listening to this podcast? Because no, I'm oh, also before we get into it, something I think we forget to mention is community patch notes. And if you're a listener, you know how this goes. But if you're a new listener, leave your comments in Discord or YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, wherever you find us. Leave your comments and questions, because next week we will have a guest on for our community patch notes episode, which is for you, but also bringing a guest on to hear their thoughts as well on tonight's topic.
In regards to that, maybe we'll try something new, right?
Okay.
Let's have the listeners think of a question to ask our guest.
Okay.
Our guest next week is Just Janie, right? That's what she goes by.
Just Janie TV. Maybe that's for Twitch, but yeah, just Janie.
She is a big Pokemon fan, and it kind of lends into what we're talking about this week. Mm-hmm. So put a question in the Discord, in the comments of the YouTube channel, in Spotify Q&A. Yeah, Twitter.
Yeah, find us everywhere. Calm Error Podcast.
I think that'd be fun.
What are we talking about tonight?
We are talking about gameplay versus graphics. Another age-old tale. But first, I want to know what's on your hat.
Oh, it's Mushroom Kingdom.
Okay, was that 1985? Does it say 1985?
I think so. I'm not going to take off my hat. The whole reason I don't wear a hat very often, but I need a haircut. And
I just got a haircut.
I know.
Head reveal.
Oh, here we go. Look at that. He hides all of that under a hat. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, so all of that stays under there. But yeah, I got a haircut. I'm getting a headshot tomorrow, so that's fancy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, for audio listeners, this is what you get when you watch the video.
You can watch on Spotify or YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're over 100 subs.
Almost 120. We're like 10 away.
Yeah, 10 away. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get there. But yeah, we're talking about gameplay versus graphics. Now, we both are Nintendo fans. So I would think that we lean heavily on the gameplay side, but I do have some thoughts about graphics and how they play into this.
That's good, because I actually was going to bring up how I do not care about graphics. And I don't think a lot of people do care about graphics. And maybe my opinion on that is because I mostly play Nintendo games. So like, I probably don't know the difference. I mean, like, of course, graphics are important because it's from like a technological standpoint, right? Seeing something like, God of War, and then seeing, because we already brought it up, like Pokemon, huge difference. However, like, I still, for, how Scarlet and Violet looked, I still had fun with it.
Yeah, that, the thumbnail is a screenshot of Scarlet and Violet versus Horizon Forbidden West, which is considered one of the like most beautiful games on PlayStation. And personally, I do not enjoy Horizon's gameplay. And that is more just like a technical feat and a spectacle.
You don't like it because it's got like kind of a checklist. Like, it's an open world game that has a checklist and kind of stops you from exploring the way that like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom does.
And I also think the combat's a little overly complicated. Like, you have a bunch of different weapons, and then you have like traps, and it's too much for me to want to deal with. Like, I just want like a melee weapon or a range weapon, and then me not dealing with any, like, having to set up because I remember playing the first one, you had to like set up traps in order to like catch or beat a boss. I'm like, don't want to do this. I just want to whack the giant mechanical
Yeah.
beast.
Yeah, you were just happy with Link having a stick and just swinging that around.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Tears of the Kingdom, there's no fancy, well, I mean, I don't play it this way. I mean, I've seen some clips of people like just
Yeah.
doing incredible things in that game. No, I'm just running up to the enemies, whacking them until my weapon dies. And I got to stop saying whacking because it's
Whacking your stick? Yeah. No, my argument for this and something that like really brought attention to this discussion was 2 years ago when everybody was playing Among Us and Fall Guys. There's no like graphical impressive standpoint there, right? It's just gameplay. And so many people were playing those games. Like maybe they've died off now. I mean, there's still a ton of people that play them, but not as much as
Fall Guys just celebrated its 3-year anniversary or something.
Which one?
Fall Guys.
I guess they both would, right? Because they came out the same year.
Yeah, but Fall Guys is like still. Well, I guess Among Us is still releasing content and.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they have VR. I can't imagine playing.
Yeah, they do have VR. Yeah.
Among Us in VR. That sounds like a lot of motion sickness and also just terrifying because I don't want to get stabbed in virtual reality.
So we talked about Pokemon a little bit, and I do think it is kind of a slap in the face of the fans for how those games look and play.
Yeah, especially when you think about how they're the biggest IP, like merchandise wise.
Yeah, the highest grossing entertainment franchise.
Yeah.
And we get that.
Yeah. I mean, so this is interesting because we do have a Pokemon Presents tomorrow, or I would guess by the time you're listening to this, it's already happened. And we don't know what we're seeing, but do you think that it's going to be, I don't know, anything better?
I don't know. They've promised the performance patch since release, and I don't think we've ever gotten it. So maybe that, but I'm assuming that is going to be for the next console. Like they're going to have an updated version for whatever's next.
Yeah, because even Detective Pikachu it's not looking good, but I'm still excited for it. Like I really liked Detective Pikachu on the DS. I thought it was a different kind of way to experience Pokemon in this big open world. And I'm excited for it on Switch. It doesn't look good, but it's a funny game.
Trying to think of a game like you had said God of War. I feel like the God of War gameplay is also fun. So it's not like it's just a beautiful looking game. It has good gameplay. I'm just thinking, trying to think of a game that is just strictly like for game, like graphics. It's just a graphical phenomenon.
I don't know. I mean, I guess like that's kind of what Cyberpunk was going to be, right?
I think like Red Dead Redemption 2 was beautiful, a beautiful game.
I mean, you brought up Red Dead. Should we talk about that?
About how Red Dead, the original Red Dead's coming to Switch and PlayStation 4.
And how many people do you think are going to play that
on Switch? I think a lot. I think Switch.
I think a lot too.
I think the Switch version will sell more than the PS4 version. I'm gonna buy it. I'm excited. I never had access to. I mean, I did. I had a 360, but like I never wanted to play it. I guess, but now that it's coming to the Switch, and I can play it in handheld mode, which I know it's probably on Steam and stuff, but I am excited for that. But it's a $50 port of a 360 game. There's no enhancements, and you're actually losing features.
Oh, like what features?
Like multiplayer. There's no multiplayer.
Oh.
But you do get the Undead Nightmares DLC,
Hmm.
which I don't know. I've never played the original Red Dead. I tried the second one. Was not a huge fan, but I think the first one would be more of something that I could get into. I just got overwhelmed with the second one. You had to like
Hmm.
take care of yourself, like as you had to like shave and stuff. Like it was like, why would I want to do this in a video game?
Because it's already overwhelming.
Yeah, it's like I do
Taking
this
care
in
of
real life.
yourself.
I barely do this in real life, and you want me to do this in a video game? Hard
Yeah, so
pass.
I've played Red Dead uh on again, off again. It was really during a time where my dad was playing it, but every once in a while, like he would just hand me the controller and I would start playing. So I haven't really like played the full thing, but I did like what I played, and I just don't think that that is going to look very good on Switch. Arkham,
I mean,
the
it's a
Arkham
360
series.
game. It's a 360. The 360 games are fine on the Switch.
I mean, so is L.A. Noir, and
Oh,
like
I didn't play that on the Switch.
it's fine, but there's definitely some bugs, and like it's not running very well on the Switch.
Well, I know there's a lot of, I guess, discourse about this Red Dead port because everybody was expecting Red Dead Redemption remastered. Like they were expecting
Mm-hmm.
like kind of a Last of Us Part 1 type deal where they overhaul the whole
Yeah.
engine. But that's not happening. There's not even a PS5 specific version. I
Hmm.
think the Xbox version, I might be wrong on this. The Xbox Series X and S version were updated to be like 4K 60.
Okay.
So they did upgrade the graphics for that. But a lot of people are upset about that. They're like, why would I pay $50? Even though like this is considered one of the greatest games ever made, right? Why would I pay $50 for a game that looks like it was made for a 360?
Mm-hmm. I think another one that I hear a lot is like Rocket League. I love Rocket League, but people like I only play it on Switch, and people are like, "Oh, it's so bad looking on Switch," and
It
I'm
is
like,
kind of bad looking on Switch.
"Really? So like, what is it that I'm missing?"
It's like it's
Because
blurry. I mean, the whole thing with the Switch third party games, they all look like they have Vaseline smeared over them.
uh-huh.
Blurry. The one thing about Rocket League on the Switch is it plays at 30 FPS. All of the other versions are at 60, so you're at a disadvantage already. That's why I wouldn't. That's why I wouldn't play on Switch is because of the frame rate, not because of the
I
graphic.
mean, I gotta be honest. I don't recognize frame rate, and like, I don't know if a lot of people.
Are
What?
you telling? Are you okay? I don't know. You don't have like an Xbox,
I don't
right?
know.
So like, all right, I've played Rocket League on Xbox. I played Rocket League on Switch. In there,
Mhm.
it is rough on Switch, but I do like playing on Switch because of handheld. That's why I would. That's why I play those games. And
Mhm.
Fortnite's the exact same way. It looks awful on Switch, and it runs awful. There's no like draw distance
It's
or anything.
it still plays the same, doesn't it? It's still the same gameplay.
It's the same gameplay, but it's 30 FPS as opposed to whatever competitive players play at, like 120.
Yeah, I guess like competitively, I can understand why there's a, that makes a difference. But
I'm telling
set
you,
like,
I don't know. You don't have, do you have access? Do you have anybody that has PlayStation or Xbox?
I'm sure I do.
So your next homework assignment, which I like giving homework assignments on this
Yeah,
show,
what? I've never gave you a homework assignment. What is this?
but your next homework assignment is to play or is to have your Switch with you, and then have whoever like show the game on PlayStation or Xbox,
Hmm.
and be like, and then tell me that you don't see a difference.
But okay, but I I might not know those people, like they're not in the same state as me, right? So like if they showed me, it would be over video, and
You
that
would
might
still
make
tell.
it
You could
worse.
still tell. You could still tell. Like even with the compressed video, it would you
Mhm.
would still be able to tell because the Switch versions are muddy compared.
I mean, I believe it. Nintendo's always been behind, so like I've no doubt that it's like it probably would be like a whole new world, right, for me to
Yeah, like
experience
your
some of the
eyes would
games that are.
melt and be like,
I mean,
"Oh
I'm
my
not
god."
like I'm not. I don't know what the right word is. Like I am obviously aware of the games that are being put out, and I can watch like trailers and gameplay and stuff like that, even if I'm not playing it myself, which I know is a different experience than just, watching somebody else play. Um, so I mean, even looking at this thumbnail that we have for this video, I'm looking at Horizons and it looks beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean that is like cover art or like promotional art, so it's not like in game. But if you look at in game
I
footage,
mean, in game is
if
yeah,
you compare if you compare that game to Pokemon or even like
yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom, which I do think Tears of the Kingdom is a gorgeous game, like art style wise.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's Horizon's beautiful, God of War is beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
like The Last of Us Part One remake,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So okay, but maybe that is the thing that like I don't worry about so much because all of those games are they have more of a realistic look to them, right? That's what they're going for. Nintendo isn't about that. It's kind of, cartoony, anime, I don't know, like it's in its own world. And that's what I like about Nintendo is like it's not in a real setting. Like we don't have these little plants walking around and following us everywhere, and then we can throw them at objects
Hey,
or.
you might. Hey, there's children. You could use your children that way now.
I mean, okay, now you got to explain yourself because we're not just gonna say that without any context.
Oh, I mean, I don't remember, but I think there was a story. There was a story in Japan about how parents are starting to use Pikmin to help. I don't know if discipline's the right word, but to help parent their kids. And they tell the kids like, "Oh, you're a Pikmin, and I'm the one that they follow around. So you always got to be right behind me."
I don't think that's bad.
No, it's not bad. I don't think it's bad. And then
Yeah.
the kids make the Pikmin noises, and actually I thought it was a really like cute story. And I was at Target yesterday or a couple days ago, and
Hmm.
there was a mother with her dot with her kids, and one of the kids like wandered off, and she's like, "Get over here! It's time to go. Let's go." So all I could think of is like if she had the whistle
Right.
and
They just like they perk up and they're like, oh, running back to their parent.
yeah, so that's a
Yeah.
sidebar. But no, I think the conversation between graphics and gameplay isn't necessarily like what game looks hyper realistic versus cartoony, because I do think a lot of Nintendo games are beautiful games, like Wind Waker, Odyssey,
Hmm.
like
I think
Mario Kart.
Luigi's Mansion 3 is probably the best looking game on Switch. In my opinion, I think that game is beautiful.
Yeah, like these are beautiful games, but they are seen as like kiddie.
Yeah. I guess like thinking about maybe I should talk about this because I've never like I just made this connection that like the cutscenes that you see in Luigi's Mansion 3 is kind of what we were wanting, I think, with the Mario movie. And like the Mario movie turned out great for what it was, but Luigi's Mansion has that plasticky kind of look, almost Pixar looking, or more towards Illumination in that sense. But yeah, I think that's a great game. Paper Mario with the I know we bring it up a lot, but Origami King, the water in that game is so cool to look at, and it's not even like real water.
The water in Pikmin is beautiful, you know?
Yeah, Pikmin is also a beautiful
Pikmin
game.
is a beautiful game, yeah. I think that one is
So-
actually beautiful. Like, I think that could, because there are realistic things in there. Like,
True.
you are,
And all the
spoilers, you're on
treasures.
Earth. Yeah, all the treasures
Yeah.
and, yeah. So Nintendo has beautiful games, right?
Mhm.
But people don't see it that way. And I made a video, there was a video on TikTok, and I don't want to say the creator's name, but he said Nintendo sucks, and I'm sick of saying otherwise. And he talked about how the Nintendo Switch is so far behind all the other consoles.
Not wrong.
No, he's not wrong, but he also said something like they only have a couple good IP.
Oh,
It's like all these
that's
like
a weird take.
it's like all these anti Nintendo takes, and I'm like, man, you gotta play more than Mario and Zelda.
Hmm.
Because I mean, I think
it-
Fire Emblem is beautiful. I know people love Xenoblade, like
Mhm.
what that does on the Nintendo Switch. I don't
Yeah.
know how it's possible.
So okay, so obviously, and we talk about this a lot that we are, Nintendo fans. So that is probably the games that we're going to be talking about the most. But from your standpoint, for someone that is playing on a PlayStation or Xbox or Steam or, what are some games that come to mind for you that have great gameplay and graphics? You had mentioned God of War.
Yeah, God of War is God of War like the PS4, and then Ragnarok, like they are gorgeous games and they are extremely satisfying to play. The game that I think of, I don't understand. People say Elden Ring does not have good graphics, and I don't
that-
understand why. Like I don't understand why they would say that.
Because it's dark, like it's just dark looking, maybe.
Maybe,
Which
but when I was
doesn't-
playing that game, I'm like, man, this is.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because I play mostly Nintendo games and I'm not used to like more than 720p or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are some gorgeous games on PlayStation, like even like Diablo 4. The cutscenes, they look just like it has that uncanny valley.
Hold up,
feeling.
you're watching cutscenes?
Well, yeah, I mean
You're
they're
not.
kind of
You're not skipping through them.
No, I don't. So I don't skip cutscenes.
Uh huh.
I probably don't pay attention during them. Like that's what
Yeah.
that's my phone time.
Oh God, you're missing
Except
everything.
for when Lilith's on the screen, and then I'm like laser focused.
I loved that meme that Crawler put in our Nintendo Powercast Discord, which listeners listen to Nintendo Powercast. It's a fun show as well. But the meme was the scene from Endgame where Scarlet Witch says, "You took everything from me," and it's supposed to be the final boss. And then it's Thanos who says, "I don't even know who you are," and it's the person, me, who skipped all the cutscenes, and that's you, Johnny. You have no idea what you're even playing or who these characters are or the
That's-
reason why you're fighting them.
Sometimes that is true. Sometimes that is true. Like Final Fantasy 16, that is cutscene every 2 minutes, and I did not pay attention at all from what I played. I didn't beat it, but like I was fighting a boss. I'm like, I don't know why I'm fighting this person. Like, what did they do to me, or what do I have to do to stop them?
Mm-hmm.
I was just pressing buttons.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best way to learn, right?
Final
Just
Fantasy 16 is a good one. That has amazing graphics,
Mhm.
but I do not like the gameplay.
Are you on the minority of that?
I think so.
Or
Yeah, people
Okay.
love that game, and I don't. I said this before. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Baldur's Gate just came out.
Yep.
I have not played that yet, but I have seen a bunch of videos, and it looks like it's a beautiful looking game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that game's for me, gameplay wise. Turn-based, like heavily, like narrative heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna buy it when it comes to PlayStation 5, and then I'm gonna be like, I don't think this is for me.
I was just thinking of a game that I think looks good and probably is going to have great gameplay, but it does kind of fall back into that Nintendo world a little bit. Is Plucky Squire? That game looks awesome.
Now I
Do you
don't
know what I'm
know
talking
if
about?
see that's another one that I don't think people will see as having good graphics. Like it's an
Oh, but why?
indie. I think it looks good. Personally, I
Yeah.
think it looks good, but people that play on these next gen consoles and on PC, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's just another indie game."
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm like really loving all the things that Devolver Digital is doing right now, because they also have Skate that's coming out where you're like this glass man, and it's a skateboarding game, and the music sounds really cool, and the way that like lights are kind of shining through you looks awesome. And then if you fall off your skateboard, you just kind of break into like a million pieces, and then you get back up and you're just skating. It's yeah. Did you see that they have a
Yeah,
direct coming out?
a delayed direct or whatever it's called. Delay.
That's so good.
It is good. I mean, it sucks because
Yeah.
that means more games are getting delayed.
Right. And I'm sure those two are a big example of, or not example, but those are the two that are probably being delayed. But it also just sets fans' expectations. And I love that they're able to just admit it. Like, imagine that, especially when it comes to graphics. Like, we see a lot of developers now are having issues just finishing games because it's just taking so much time and effort and work. And the games, some of them don't even come out the way that they wanted them to.
Yeah, super buggy. Like look at
Yeah.
Cyberpunk and what was another big one that I mean
I don't know.
Pokemon is a mess.
Cyberpunk got fixed though, right?
Yeah, and I think that is. I think people have come around on that one.
Yeah.
But Jedi Survivor, I think, was kind of janky at launch. Which that's another one that I thought was beautiful, but people don't think it looks that great.
Yeah, I mean it's all subjective, right? Every episode is subjective, but
I want to know what is a face melting graphical game.
Tetris.
Tetris, yeah. Tetris
Yeah,
Effect
Tetris.
actually has
I was
really
actually
cool
gonna
graphics.
say that, yeah.
Has really cool graphics.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. I'm trying to think, but
I and our listeners are just like screaming at us right now for like not
stop being
saying the
Nintendo
correct
fanboys. Play more games.
I mean, okay, just so they know, like I am not against playing other games. I just don't have a console. And right now, like I just don't know what it is I would be playing. Because yeah, I could get these games that mostly Insomniac games for PlayStation is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and those games are gorgeous. Ratchet and
Yeah,
Clank.
but even like Spider-Man that just got put out, people are complaining that, it doesn't look good. And to me, I'm like, this game looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean the problem I have with that one, it looks like a video game. Like it looks like the faces are jarring to me. Like it's that uncanny valley that they're trying to be realistic, but it's not realistic. I don't know. I always found those cutscenes to be kind of a little off-putting, but I think that's because it's all hyper realistic. But the gameplay of Spider-Man's fun. Oh, I know a big one that's going to be a big debate is Starfield and Bethesda. Bethesda's track record with graphics is not like their games are not technical or they're not graphical marvels. You know, that you're not in awe when you're playing them, especially when you're talking to NPCs or other characters.
Mm-hmm.
They showed what those characters look like in Starfield, and it looks awful.
Ooh, do you really think it looks awful, or it's just not as great as what it could be?
No, I don't know about the game itself, but I'm just talking specifically about the NPCs and the character models. They're terrible.
Okay, tell us how you really feel.
And I'm sorry, man. Jeff, if you're listening.
Jeff Troyvania.
They are models from Fallout 4 that came out like 10 years ago or over 10 years ago. They're ugly. And I'm hoping that gameplay can make up for it because it's very hard. You should watch a trailer. Just watch. That's another homework assignment. Watch a trailer.
Oh, wait, I already have one. Why do I? All right,
we got to keep track of homework for Cheesy. We need to update, and then we need an update every
okay,
week.
Well, all right, fine. My update is that I am on World 6 of Super Mario Bros. 3. Yeah.
I loved World 5 is one of my favorites because you get the Tanuki suit and you get the boots in World 5.
Yeah, the boot is good. I like 4 too because everything is all big.
Giant.
Yeah, except for I was a little disappointed when you would hit a question mark block because those are already big. And then it's just like a small mushroom.
It's a small mushroom, yeah. I think that's charm, though. That's the charm of it, right? You're in this oversized world, but it still releases. I don't know. I actually kind of liked it about that. World 3, I have a love-hate relationship with World 3. Water themed worlds are never my favorite. But did you like the frog suit?
Yeah, I like the frog suit. I actually like it for jumping too. I know that it's not the fastest, but for a good jump, it's good. I think look, I'm not done with the game yet, and I know I'm missing secrets and stuff, but this game is actually making me upset.
I did see
I think it's a very unforgiving game.
I did see there was a story about Super Mario Bros. Wonder and how testers or somebody said that it's like a true sequel to Super Mario Bros. 3. Like difficulty wise.
Okay.
So be prepared.
Because like there's times where there's enemies where it's like, well, you didn't do that last time. Why did you do that this time?
So the trick about Super Mario Bros. 3 is you go through them as fast as you can. Don't even try to take on enemies. Just go past them.
Okay.
It's a Dark Souls approach. You just run past all the enemies.
Okay. I'll try it. But then I'm missing out on like stuff that's in the level.
You don't need it though. You don't need it. What do
you mean I don't need it? I know that there's some like warp whistle thing, and I still don't
but
even
you
know
already
what that
missed
does.
them. They're in the first 2 worlds. You already missed them. Those are the secrets. There's no like Super Mario World has a bunch of alternate exits and stuff. There's
I know about those. Yeah,
there's none of that in Super Mario Bros. 3. So you're really just playing to get through the levels.
I feel like that is the game. Like I'm just ready for it to be done. What is it? It's 8 worlds?
It's 8 worlds, yeah. 7. Right, man, good luck. At 7, I skip that one every time because I'm not a fan.
Jeez. Okay, well back on topic.
But that has fantastic gameplay and arguably not great graphics.
Oh, at the time, maybe.
Yeah, at the time, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, so when it comes to gameplay and graphics, do you think that there are people that pick one or the other? Like, not intentionally, but like if it doesn't have graphics, hopefully it has good gameplay or vice versa. Like, or do you think it's because I feel like a lot of gamers today, not just us, really do focus on the graphics. And if the graphics aren't there, then why am I even playing it?
Yeah, no, I think if there's a, we have so many choices nowadays. And if
Mhm.
there's a choice of a game that is graphically intensive or looks beautiful
Mhm.
versus a game that doesn't look that great, you're probably going to go for the graphic side, or at least most people will. I keep doing this Spider-Man versus Super Mario Bros. Wonder thing, but
Uh-huh.
that's not a good comparison.
Yeah. Because one is Mario.
Because one is Mario. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of something. I can't think of it. But if you're doing Spider-Man, what's another game coming out
Celeste.
this year?
Oh, not this year, but
Yeah,
like,
I'm just thinking a game that's coming out this year. If you want to, that's not on Nintendo systems. We gotta try to appeal to a wider audience.
well, yeah, sure, but I'm also not going to, talk about things that I don't know. That's something that I really try hard about is like if I don't know something, I'll ask, right? But like I'm not going to talk about things I don't
Yeah,
know. So,
and Spider-Man's also hard because it's a known it's an IP, right? It's a known IP.
right, yeah.
People are going to buy that just because it's Spider-Man. It could be, well, Pokemon's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Probably one of the ugliest games to come out in a very long time, and it sold 23 million copies
Mhm.
just because it's Pokemon.
Right. And I mean they got in trouble for it for
Did they
their
though?
graphics.
Did
Well,
they?
they had to talk to
They had
Nintendo
it.
and Nintendo was probably like, "Hey, the graphics weren't great, but good job. Keep it up."
Yeah, 20 million. You sold 20 million. We're good
Yeah. Yeah.
because they haven't done anything.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, sorry about the graphics," and then here we are, almost a year
Yeah.
later. They haven't done anything.
It makes me think of there's a South Park episode about the BP oil spill and the CEO has to make a statement and he's like, "We're sorry. We're so sorry." And it's just like a montage of different like apologies that
I mean,
obviously
I
yeah.
would, I would hope most people choose gameplay over graphics. And I mean, the biggest games, like the most talked about games, probably don't have the best graphics out there, right? Like Fortnite,
Yeah.
Apex Legends, Call of
Yeah.
Duty, they're not. There are better looking games graphically,
Mhm.
but people play them for the gameplay.
Well, and I'm sure developers are having an issue of like, okay, let's make this game look good, but also not put in so much time and effort into it so we save money.
Exactly. But then
Yeah.
they have there's performance mode and graphical mode or whatever they call it. So people must care, right? People must care what the game looks like.
Ooh, okay. I think, look, I haven't played these games, but every time that I see them, I'm like, these games look so good. Gran Turismo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the racing games,
Yeah.
beautiful.
And the way that
Forza,
God, yeah, the way that they get that the shine on the cars and even like the weather conditions is really cool.
there you go.
Like,
That's a perfect game. The racing games are perfect games where they strongly promote the graphics.
mhm.
And not they don't really talk about gameplay that much because they're like it's cars. You're racing cars.
Here you
But
go. Yeah,
look,
you get it.
look at these tires. You could see all the rivets in the tires and all the
The dirt on
leather.
the cars and
Yeah. Yeah, and people love those games. And I don't know. I have played Forza Horizon. Those are amazing. If you want to get into a racing game, Forza Horizon, that
Mhm.
series, it's an open world racing game.
Yeah.
And you could you can find really beautiful looking cars and just admire them.
Mhm.
But I mean, the gameplay in that, I don't like the normal Forza, like the standard Forza. It has to be the Horizon series. I don't like just racing, just like going around in a circle. That's not fun to me. I like
You like Baby Park.
I do like Baby Park. I think Baby Park is one of the best tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
I mean, I do have a friend that anytime we play with them, they'll choose Baby Park every single time.
I like Baby Park and I like Excite Bike, and people are like, those are just ovals. They're both boring ovals. And I'm like, I don't care.
Well, you just said that you don't like racing around in an oval.
Yeah, but not, I mean, Mario Kart's different.
It is. I just
No, but like Forza is like a simulation racing game.
yeah.
Mario Kart's not a simulation racing game.
It could be.
Like, you can't really take shortcuts in Forza. Like, you can't like cut through the grass with a mushroom in Forza. That'd be
I
fun,
bet you
though.
someone
They should do it.
Someone's mod it.
But yeah, that's a good point. Racing games, they do push the graphics a lot. Like, that is when a new console comes out, like,
Yeah.
they always have a racing game at launch because it displays the technical prowess of the system.
Right. And maybe that one is easier because they know who their audience is. Instead of making a new game or, a series that people like, but they're not sure how much it's going to sell. But with a racing game, it's like, we know how much you guys love cars, and we're going to show you how much we also love cars and vehicles and, whatever. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Oh my God, that game is beautiful.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. These simulation games, like, those are the graphical games.
Yeah, a Power Wash.
Yeah, Power Wash Simulator. What was the first? It was like Surgeon Simulator. Was that one of the first ones?
Yeah, probably. Or was Goat Simulator one of the first ones?
Yeah, Goat Simulator. Yeah, but that's more gameplay than.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know how much I would enjoy playing Flight Simulator. I just kind of want to look at it.
You just have it as like a desktop background, or
yeah, because that's like actually flying a plane, and I'm like, I don't really want to do that.
It could be fun, Maybe you are going on vacation, but you don't have the money, but you have Flight Simulator, so you just sit there for like 3 to 6 hours, and you reach your destination. But sadly, you're still in the same place. So
there were videos with Flight Simulator, and people act like they're part of the communication tower.
Yeah,
and they're like directing air traffic, and I think that's hilarious. I can never get into it, but those and like the role playing servers of like GTA, like, I can't really get into those, but I think it's hilarious that people just do that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring up this game because I want to promote it as much as humanly possible.
Metroid Dread.
No. Brotato. And it's
Brotato.
Yeah, it's called Brotato. It's
okay.
You play as a potato, and you're fending off waves of aliens.
Okay.
And it's just like Vampire Survivors. It's similar gameplay. But I've been playing it so much. Like, everybody's playing hours of Baldur's Gate 3, and I played like 10 hours of Brotato over the weekend.
When did Brotato come out?
It's been out on Steam for a while, but it just came out on Switch. It's $5.
Okay.
And, if you are waiting for Vampire Survivors, which I think is coming out in a couple weeks on Switch, this is a good holdover. But yeah, it's all I've been playing. And that has the worst graphics. It looks like a Flash game. It probably is a Flash game. But it's so fun to me. It's all I've been playing.
Yeah. Yeah. I've played a ton of Angry Birds back in the day, and that was fun. And like, honestly, I don't know, graphics when it came out on mobile, not too bad.
I like the hand drawn stuff.
Yeah.
It's like charming, and that's what I was hoping the new Mario graphics would just be like a hand drawn style. I mean, I do like Wonders so far, so I'm happy about that. But every time, I mean, if we're talking about Nintendo Switch, whenever I make Nintendo content on TikTok all the time, and I get so much crap about how Nintendo consoles suck and their games look horrible. And then they said just to emulate it. They're like, I could emulate Tears of the Kingdom at 4K, 60 FPS. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, go for it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's the, I guess it's the mindset of just, Nintendo versus the other two, right? Because they are completely different, and we know this. But even the other two have fans that are complaining. I mean, it goes on both sides. But for those games that are being made and the artists that are putting in the time to make them look the way that they want them to look, and then get the feedback of like, hey, this sucks. What are you guys doing over there? And like, what, like they could do any better, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just when I think of games and how things were promoted, like, I don't understand why they care so much about certain things.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah. I interrupted.
Like Horizon Forbidden West, for example, they have like hyper realistic facial animations and features, and they have like facial like hair, like not like a beard, but like
right, yeah,
just like the hair that you have, and I'm like, why? Who cares about that stuff? Like, who's gonna be like, oh yeah, that's amazing,
right? But the artists care.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But then they get crap about it because they were saying, like, why would Aloy have hair on her face?
Because she's human, and like,
yeah,
that's
I know. They can't win. They can't win.
Yeah, it really comes down to like how gaming is it's so expensive, and it is a luxury that we have, and we should just be grateful that we even get video games. I mean, they're so fun, they're so cool. It's a great escapism that we have, and I can understand from a consumer standpoint, you hope that you are enjoying the thing that you are consuming and it's like the best thing ever made, but you're also not the one that is doing it. And if you think you can do better, then go do better.
Yeah I don't know if we could ever please the internet. For some reason, I don't know why, but I'm on like Console War Twitter.
Ooh, get out of there.
I know. I don't. I think. I guess I read the tweet too long or something because they keep seeing it, and if you look on that side of Twitter, people are always fighting about graphics.
Well, you're probably on like the For You page, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, get out of there.
But they're always fighting about like how like there's a screen of when like Spider-Man comes down out of his like the symbiote form, and it looks kind of weird because it's just like a still shot of him mid transformation, and people are saying like, oh, this game looks like garbage. Like, why would it just looks like a PS4 game, or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So some people do care about graphics. We need to find one.
I mean, I do think there's a lot of people that care about graphics, and I can think of a few that are listening to our podcast and, could probably educate us. But that's the thing, right? There are genuinely people that do care about game development and understand how game development works. And then there's people that are complaining that the game didn't come out the way that they wanted it to, but are just expecting the developers to wave a magic wand and make everything right, and it doesn't work like that.
It will.
It will.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where. I mean, I'm personally, I prefer gameplay over graphics.
I do too. But I can also acknowledge that, maybe it's because I'm kind of in a bubble and I haven't experienced today's graphics and how different that could be.
I do think graphics are it's like a broad spectrum. Like there are people that think no Nintendo game has good graphics.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there are a bunch that have great graphics.
Yep.
But they're not running at 60 FPS. They're not they're not 4K resolution. There's hard edges, but I still think that they look good.
Yeah.
So I think it's a subjective term to say like what is good graphics.
Right. And at the end of the day, it's nice that we get a variety of different kinds of games, right? Like we have Nintendo that probably doesn't have the best graphics, but it's a fun little world that we get to play around in. And then you have something that is just so marvelous to look at and play. Like I don't know why we have to argue about which console is better, because we're getting like the best of both worlds.
Because it's human nature.
I know.
And like if you spend your hard-earned money on one console, and you're gonna have you're gonna be defensive of that console.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, why? Like I don't know. I play Nintendo games. I'm not gonna be defensive about it. Maybe I have more knowledge on Nintendo versus like
Splatoon sucks.
It's not. That's not. Not true.
You're defensive.
I'm not defensive. If I was defensive, I would be yelling. I don't know. If there's people that are listening to this right now, this is the whole point of the show. And I feel like with this topic alone, it's probably going to make some people upset, or, we're wrong, or we just want to have that open discussion. This is our communication error right now, maybe with you. And if you have a problem with it, let us know. Put it in the Discord or write us a comment on YouTube. We would love to hear it.
Yeah, I need all opinions. Because we're in a bubble. We need to get out. We need to get out of this bubble.
We are in a bubble. We can admit that.
But we are almost at an hour. I enjoyed this conversation. I'm excited to hear what other people have to say. I'm excited to hear what Janie has to say next week.
Yeah, she said she was excited, and even though we talked about Pokemon, I kind of feel like she's gonna talk about Pokemon, even as a Pokemon fan. Like it's very apparent that something needs to change there. So
yeah. Thanks for listening. Cheesy, where can people find you?
You can find me on TikTok, on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Nintendo Powercast, Cheesy C64, CheeZyC 64.
And I am John Ebo everywhere: Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and the Nintendo Powercast. Thanks for listening. Leave your comments.